Stoic virtue ethics is a philosophical framework that emphasizes the development of personal character and the pursuit of a life guided by reason, wisdom, and moral integrity. Rooted in ancient Greek philosophy, particularly in the teachings of Zeno of Citium, Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism holds that virtue is the only true good and that living a virtuous life is essential for achieving eudaimonia, or flourishing. Unlike other ethical systems that might focus on the consequences of actions, such as utilitarianism, or adherence to rules, such as deontology, Stoic virtue ethics is centered on the cultivation of inner moral character and the alignment of one's actions with nature and reason. At the heart of Stoic virtue ethics lies the belief that virtue is both necessary and sufficient for happiness. The Stoics argue that external circumstances, such as wealth, health, or social status, are not inherently good or bad but are morally indifferent. What matters, according to Stoicism, is how individuals respond to these circumstances through the exercise of their rational faculties and moral virtues. This perspective is profoundly liberating, as it allows individuals to focus on what is within their control, their thoughts, decisions, and actions, while maintaining equanimity in the face of uncontrollable external events. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues that form the foundation of their ethical framework: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues, they believed, are expressions of our rational nature and are essential for living a good life. Wisdom, for the Stoics, is the ability to discern what is truly valuable and to make decisions based on reason rather than emotion or impulse. It involves understanding the nature of the world, recognizing the difference between what is within our control and what is not, and acting in accordance with this knowledge. Wisdom is the guiding virtue in Stoic ethics, as it informs and directs the other virtues, ensuring that they are practiced in a balanced and rational manner. Courage, the second cardinal virtue, is the ability to face challenges, difficulties, and fears with resilience and fortitude. For the Stoics, courage is not merely physical bravery but also the moral strength to endure pain, hardship, and uncertainty without being overwhelmed by fear or despair. Courage enables individuals to remain steadfast in the pursuit of virtue, even when external circumstances are unfavorable or when the path of least resistance might lead to easier, but morally questionable, outcomes. It is the virtue that allows individuals to act in accordance with their principles, even in the face of adversity or temptation. Justice, the third cardinal virtue, is closely tied to the Stoic conception of human nature and the belief that all people are part of a universal community. Justice, for the Stoics, involves treating others with fairness, compassion, and respect, recognizing their inherent worth as rational beings. It is the virtue that governs our interactions with others and ensures that we contribute to the common good. Justice requires that we act not out of self-interest but with a sense of duty and responsibility toward others, recognizing that we are all interconnected and that our actions have consequences for the larger community. In this sense, justice is not merely about following laws or social norms but about striving to uphold the moral principles that promote harmony and well-being for all. Temperance, the fourth cardinal virtue, is the ability to exercise self-control and moderation in all aspects of life. The Stoics believe that excessive desires, passions, and attachments can cloud our judgment and lead us away from the path of virtue. Temperance involves regulating our desires and emotions, ensuring that they do not dominate our decision-making or lead us into actions that are contrary to reason. It is the virtue that enables us to maintain balance and composure, avoiding extremes of indulgence or deprivation and acting in a way that is consistent with our rational nature. Together, these 4 virtues form a comprehensive ethical framework that guides individuals toward a life of moral excellence and inner peace. The Stoics believed that by cultivating these virtues, individuals could achieve a state of tranquility, or ataraxia, in which they are no longer disturbed by external events or the fluctuations of fortune. This state of tranquility arises from the knowledge that true happiness and fulfillment come not from external possessions or achievements but from the strength of one's character and the practice of virtue. A central tenet of Stoic virtue ethics is the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. According to the Stoics, only our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes are fully within our control, while external events, such as the behavior of others, natural disasters, or societal conditions, are beyond our power to influence. This distinction is crucial for Stoic ethics, as it encourages individuals to focus their efforts on what they can control, their own moral development, and to accept with equanimity what they cannot control, external outcomes. By doing so, Stoic ethics provides a practical guide for navigating life's challenges without becoming overwhelmed by frustration, fear, or disappointment. This focus on what is within our control is closely related to the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature. For the Stoics, nature refers not only to the natural world but also to the rational order that governs the universe. They believe that humans, as rational beings, are part of this natural order and that our highest good lies in living in harmony with it. This means using our capacity for reason to understand the world around us, to accept the things we cannot change, and to act virtuously in the face of whatever circumstances we encounter. By aligning our will with the rational order of the universe, we can achieve a state of inner peace and fulfillment, regardless of external conditions. The Stoic emphasis on virtue as the only true good also leads to a profound sense of moral responsibility. Since external goods such as wealth, power, or pleasure are deemed indifferent, the Stoic is not swayed by the pursuit of material success or personal gain. Instead, the Stoic is committed to living a life of integrity and ethical consistency, always striving to act in accordance with reason and virtue. This moral responsibility extends not only to oneself but also to others, as Stoicism encourages individuals to contribute to the well-being of the broader community. The Stoic sage, or ideal practitioner of Stoic ethics, is one who acts with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance in all situations, regardless of external pressures or challenges. Stoic virtue ethics also places a strong emphasis on personal accountability. Since virtue is a matter of individual character and actions, the Stoic recognizes that they alone are responsible for their moral development. This perspective fosters a sense of empowerment, as individuals are not dependent on external circumstances for their well-being or happiness. Instead, they have the ability to cultivate virtue and live a good life through their own efforts, regardless of what happens around them. This focus on self-mastery and personal responsibility is one of the defining features of Stoic virtue ethics, providing a clear and actionable path for moral growth. Stoic virtue ethics is a philosophy that offers a powerful and practical guide for living a life of moral integrity, inner peace, and rational fulfillment. By emphasizing the cultivation of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, Stoicism provides a framework for navigating the challenges of life with resilience, compassion, and clarity. Through the practice of virtue and the recognition of what is within our control, Stoic ethics encourages individuals to focus on their own moral development, to act in harmony with the natural order of the universe, and to contribute to the well-being of others. In this way, Stoic virtue ethics offers a timeless and enduring vision of what it means to live a good and meaningful life. Stoic virtue ethics is one of the most profound and influential moral systems in Western philosophy, rooted in the teachings of ancient Greek and Roman philosophers. At its core, Stoicism holds that the ultimate goal of human life is to achieve eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or the good life. This flourishing is attained not through external possessions, wealth, or pleasure, but through the cultivation of virtue, which the Stoics argue is the only true good. Stoic virtue ethics is centered on the idea that living in accordance with nature and reason leads to a virtuous life, and that virtue alone is sufficient for happiness. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues as the foundation of ethical living: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues were not seen as separate qualities but as interconnected aspects of a unified moral character. Wisdom, for example, is the ability to discern what is truly good, bad, or indifferent in life, and to act accordingly. For the Stoics, wisdom is the highest virtue because it involves understanding the nature of the world and aligning one's actions with this understanding. It enables individuals to distinguish between what they can control, such as their own actions and responses, and what they cannot control, such as external events or the behavior of others. By focusing only on what is within their control, Stoics believe that individuals can achieve inner peace and resilience, regardless of external circumstances. Courage, another central virtue, is the ability to face challenges, difficulties, and even death with a calm and steadfast mind. Stoic courage is not reckless bravery, but the strength to endure hardship and act rightly, even in the face of fear or adversity. It represents a commitment to doing what is morally correct, regardless of the potential risks or personal costs. Stoics believe that courage involves both physical bravery and moral fortitude, as it requires not only the ability to confront danger but also the strength to maintain one's integrity and principles in the face of ethical challenges. Justice, in the Stoic sense, is the virtue that governs how individuals interact with others. It involves treating others fairly, respecting their rights, and contributing to the common good. For the Stoics, justice is rooted in the recognition that all human beings are rational creatures and part of a larger community. This understanding leads to the belief that individuals have a duty to act with kindness, empathy, and respect toward others, recognizing that their own well-being is tied to the well-being of the community as a whole. Justice, then, is not merely about following laws or fulfilling obligations, but about fostering harmonious relationships and promoting the welfare of others. Despite its emphasis on individual virtue, Stoicism is not a self-centered or isolationist philosophy. The Stoics believe that humans are inherently social creatures and that part of living virtuously involves fulfilling one's duties to others. Stoic ethics emphasizes the importance of contributing to the common good and acting with benevolence toward others. This is rooted in their belief in the interconnectedness of all human beings, who share in the same rational nature. The Stoics argued that we have an obligation to treat others fairly and to help them whenever possible, not because of any personal gain, but because it is our duty as rational and social beings. In this sense, Stoic virtue ethics is deeply concerned with justice and the welfare of the broader community. Stoic virtue ethics also offers a unique perspective on suffering and adversity. Since external circumstances are indifferent and beyond our control, the Stoics argued that suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our judgments about them. By changing our perspective and focusing only on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we can remain virtuous and at peace in the face of hardship. This aspect of Stoicism has led to its enduring appeal as a philosophy of resilience and inner strength. Whether facing illness, loss, or other difficulties, Stoicism teaches that individuals can maintain their moral integrity and inner tranquility by focusing on virtue rather than external outcomes. Stoic virtue ethics is a powerful and comprehensive moral system that emphasizes the centrality of virtue, rationality, and living in accordance with nature. By cultivating the four cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, individuals can achieve true happiness, which the Stoics define as living in harmony with reason and the natural order of the universe. Stoicism teaches that external circumstances are ultimately irrelevant to moral well-being, and that virtue alone is sufficient for a flourishing life. Through its focus on self-mastery, social responsibility, and the acceptance of things beyond our control, Stoic virtue ethics offers a timeless guide to living a life of purpose, resilience, and inner peace. A critical component of Stoic virtue ethics is the concept of control and the distinction between what is within our power and what is not. This distinction is central to Stoic thought and plays a significant role in how one should approach life's challenges. The Stoics assert that we only have control over our own judgments, intentions, desires, and actions. Everything else, such as other people's behavior, external events, and even our own bodies, falls outside our sphere of control. This realization encourages a focus on personal responsibility and self-mastery, rather than wasting energy on trying to change or control external factors that are inherently beyond our influence. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, emphasized this point in his Enchiridion, where he advised individuals to accept whatever happens to them as part of the natural order and to focus their efforts only on what they can change, their own thoughts and actions. According to Stoicism, this approach is not only practical but also essential for achieving peace of mind. By training oneself to be indifferent to what lies beyond personal control, one can avoid unnecessary suffering and emotional turmoil. This is where Stoicism's promise of inner tranquility becomes particularly appealing. The ability to remain calm and composed in the face of external adversity is not about suppressing emotion but about retraining the mind to value virtue over external outcomes. This emphasis on control is closely tied to the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature. For the Stoics, nature is not limited to the physical environment but encompasses the rational order of the cosmos, of which human beings are a part. The Stoics believe that everything in the universe happens according to reason, and that individuals must align themselves with this rational order to live a good life. This means accepting that certain events are outside of our control and that they occur for reasons beyond our understanding. The Stoic response to this is to act in a way that is consistent with virtue, regardless of external circumstances, and to accept the outcomes as part of the natural flow of life. Living in accordance with nature also means recognizing the social nature of human beings. Stoicism teaches that we are all part of a larger community, bound by our shared rationality and humanity. As such, Stoic virtue ethics insists on the importance of justice and the moral duty to contribute to the common good. This social dimension of Stoicism is often overlooked, as the philosophy is sometimes misunderstood as being overly individualistic or indifferent to the concerns of others. In reality, Stoicism places significant emphasis on the welfare of others, encouraging individuals to act with kindness, fairness, and a sense of duty toward their fellow human beings. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, frequently reflected on this in his Meditations, where he reminded himself to act with justice and to serve the greater good. He viewed his role as a leader not as a position of personal power or privilege but as a responsibility to act in accordance with virtue for the benefit of the people he governed. For Marcus, and for Stoicism more broadly, the practice of virtue is not confined to personal development but extends outward to include a commitment to justice and the well-being of others. In addition to justice, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and moderation, as embodied in the virtue of temperance. This virtue requires individuals to regulate their desires and emotions, ensuring that they are not swayed by irrational passions or excessive indulgence in pleasure. The Stoics believed that many of the problems people face in life stem from an inability to control their desires, from the pursuit of wealth, status, or pleasure at the expense of virtue. By cultivating temperance, individuals can maintain a balanced and harmonious life, free from the distractions of excessive passion or materialism. Temperance is not about denying oneself all forms of enjoyment or pleasure, but rather about exercising control and ensuring that one's desires do not lead to harmful or irrational behavior. In this way, Stoic temperance is closely linked to wisdom, as it requires the ability to discern what is truly beneficial and to act accordingly. The Stoics argue that true freedom comes not from the pursuit of external pleasures but from the mastery of one's own mind and desires. By practicing temperance, individuals can free themselves from the tyranny of external influences and focus on living a life guided by reason and virtue. Another key aspect of Stoic virtue ethics is the idea of apatheia, or freedom from irrational passions. The Stoics believe that emotions such as fear, anger, envy, and excessive desire arise from false judgments about what is truly valuable in life. For example, if someone believes that wealth or social status is essential for happiness, they may experience fear or anxiety if these things are threatened. However, if one understands that these external goods are indifferent and do not contribute to true happiness, the emotional attachment to them can be dissolved. This does not mean that Stoics seek to eliminate all emotions, but rather that they aim to cultivate rational emotions, such as joy, love, and gratitude, that are aligned with virtue and reason. The Stoic ideal of emotional resilience is not about becoming emotionally numb or detached from life but about developing a clear understanding of what truly matters. By focusing on what is within our control and aligning our desires with virtue, Stoics believe that we can experience a deep sense of peace and fulfillment regardless of external circumstances. This emotional resilience is particularly valuable in times of crisis or adversity, as it allows individuals to maintain their composure and act virtuously even in the face of hardship or loss. Stoic virtue ethics also offers a unique perspective on the nature of suffering. Since the Stoics view external events as indifferent, they argue that suffering arises not from the events themselves but from our judgments about them. For example, losing a job or experiencing a financial setback is not inherently bad, it is only our interpretation of these events as harmful or unjust that causes us to suffer. By changing our perspective and focusing on what we can control, our own attitudes and responses, we can reduce or even eliminate the emotional pain associated with such events. This perspective on suffering is closely related to the Stoic practice of premeditation, or premeditatio malorum. This involves mentally preparing for potential challenges or difficulties by imagining the worst-case scenarios that could occur. By contemplating these possibilities in advance, Stoics believe that they can reduce the emotional impact of such events if and when they do occur. This practice helps cultivate a sense of detachment from external outcomes and reinforces the Stoic belief that true happiness depends on virtue, not on external circumstances. Stoicism's emphasis on virtue as the only true good also leads to a distinctive understanding of moral responsibility. Since the Stoics believe that only our own actions and decisions are within our control, they argue that we are fully responsible for our own moral growth and well-being. This sense of personal accountability is empowering, as it places the focus on what we can change, our own character and behavior, rather than on external factors beyond our control. The Stoic emphasis on self-mastery and personal responsibility encourages individuals to take ownership of their own lives and to strive for continuous moral improvement. This focus on personal accountability also extends to the Stoic understanding of leadership and governance. For the Stoics, leaders have a moral duty to act in accordance with virtue and to serve the greater good. Leadership is not about accumulating power or wealth but about using one's position to promote justice, fairness, and the well-being of others. The Stoic leader is one who acts with wisdom, courage, and integrity, always prioritizing the common good over personal. Memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning, remember that you will die, serves as a powerful reminder of the impermanence of life and the inevitability of death. In the philosophical tradition of Stoicism, memento mori holds profound significance as a practice that encourages individuals to confront their mortality, appreciate the present moment, and live with greater purpose and intention. At the heart of memento mori is the recognition that life is fleeting and that death is a natural part of the human experience. By acknowledging the transience of life, individuals are prompted to reflect on their priorities, values, and actions. This contemplation of mortality serves as a catalyst for living a life of virtue, meaning, and significance, as Stoics believe that embracing the reality of death can lead to a deeper appreciation of life itself. In the practice of memento mori, individuals are encouraged to reflect on their own mortality regularly, not as a morbid exercise, but as a means of fostering gratitude, humility, and perspective. By keeping the awareness of death close at hand, individuals are reminded to live authentically, to cherish their relationships, and to pursue what truly matters to them. This practice of reflection on mortality empowers individuals to make conscious choices, set meaningful goals, and align their actions with their values and virtues. Moreover, memento mori serves as a powerful antidote to the distractions and trivialities of daily life. In a world consumed by materialism, status-seeking, and instant gratification, the contemplation of death offers a sobering reminder of the ultimate equalizer, that all individuals, regardless of wealth or status, are bound by the certainty of death. This realization prompts individuals to detach from superficial pursuits, to focus on what is truly meaningful and enduring, and to live with a sense of purpose and integrity. In essence, memento mori is a profound philosophical practice that invites individuals to confront their mortality, embrace the impermanence of life, and live with a sense of urgency and authenticity. By integrating the practice of memento mori into their daily lives, individuals can cultivate a deeper appreciation for the present moment, a clearer sense of purpose, and a greater alignment with their values and virtues. In the realm of Stoicism, memento mori stands as a potent reminder of the fragility of life and the imperative to live with mindfulness, gratitude, and a steadfast commitment to what truly matters. As a Stoic philosopher, I am pleased to continue exploring the profound principles of Stoic virtue ethics. Part 2 will delve deeper into the practical applications of these virtues in everyday life, as well as the transformative impact they can have on individuals and society as a whole. One of the key aspects of Stoic virtue ethics is the idea of living in accordance with nature. Stoics believe that humans are rational beings capable of cultivating virtues that align with the natural order of the universe. By living in harmony with nature and embracing virtues such as wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, individuals can lead a life of moral excellence and inner tranquility. Wisdom, as a fundamental virtue in Stoic philosophy, involves seeking truth, understanding the natural laws of the universe, and living in accordance with reason. By cultivating wisdom and clarity of thought, individuals can make informed decisions, navigate complex situations with discernment, and lead a life guided by principles of truth and rationality. Courage, another essential virtue in Stoic virtue ethics, is the ability to face challenges, adversity, and uncertainty with strength and resilience. Stoics believe that by cultivating courage, individuals can overcome fear, embrace discomfort, and act in alignment with their values and principles, even in the face of adversity. Temperance, or moderation, is a virtue that emphasizes self-control, restraint, and balance in one's desires and actions. By practicing temperance, individuals can avoid excesses, cultivate a sense of inner harmony, and lead a balanced and virtuous life. Justice, the final virtue in Stoic ethics, is the practice of fairness, kindness, and empathy towards others. Stoics believe that by embodying justice and acting with compassion and integrity, individuals can contribute to the well-being of society, foster harmonious relationships, and uphold ethical principles in all their interactions. In essence, Stoic virtue ethics offers a comprehensive framework for individuals to cultivate moral excellence, lead a life of integrity and purpose, and contribute to the greater good of society. By embracing virtues such as wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, individuals can strive towards a life of ethical fulfillment, inner peace, and harmonious relationships with others, embodying the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy in their daily lives.